Only the Brave is a biographical film that tells the true story of this elite group of firefighters known only as the Granite Mountain Hotshots. And getting right into it, what this movie does is it focuses on these firefighters and what makes them so unique. They're not the stereotypical kind that, you know, if a house is burning down or, you know, there's a terrible fire in a city or something like that and they go to take care of it. These guys specialize in putting out wildfires. They're stationed in Arizona where there's a lot of nature and where nature is very close to cities, and in nature wildfires happen quite often and these need to be contained before they can cause catastrophic damages. And one of the things that I immediately liked about this movie is it really shows what these firefighters have to do and what makes this job so dangerous. I mean, we all know if you have to put out fires for a living, it's a very dangerous job. But this movie shows why putting out wildfires is an entirely different beast. I love how this movie shows it's like you have to be working with the soil this way, you have to be communicating with other teams this way, you have to be prepared for this if this happens. It really just shows the process that goes into it, and as a result, it gives you kind of an appreciation for something that you didn't really know too much about. Now, getting into the characters in this movie, Josh Brolin is one of the lead characters in this movie. He is the leader of these firefighters. And what I like about him is he's a very no-nonsense, very take-charge kind of guy. You know, he loves his job. He's passionate about what he does. But that leads me to another character that I really liked in this movie, and that is his wife, played by Jennifer Connelly. And her role in this movie, I feel, is very important because she represents what the family side of these firefighters is like. Because the same case applies with these firefighters as it does with people who go into the military or are police officers, those who are involved with very dangerous work, the toll it takes on their families. Because there are some days that they have to put their family second because an emergency could happen. They could get called in and say, hey, this is happening, we need you out here now, no explanations, we'll explain later, you have to go. And they're forced to sit there like, yeah, I have to. This is my job. This is duty. I have to do this. As a result, it could make the wife or the kids or the family, whoever, it makes them feel they come second because they just had to drop everything to go do this. And at the same time, above it all, because it's such dangerous work, you know they are sitting in their homes wondering, are they gonna come back? Jennifer Connelly especially feels this case with Josh Brolin. You know, he's frequently called to go in. I mean, he runs this whole thing, so, you know, he especially has to be there. But obviously, because it's such dangerous work, she's concerned if she's ever going to see him again, if one day she's going to get the call that says, hey, your husband died in a fire. You know, she wants more with him. She wants to start a family, but Josh Brolin isn't ready to commit to that because of the work he has to do. The movie does a great job at showing just how stressful this kind of job can be, not just for those who are doing it, but for the families that are involved. Another great performance in this movie was Miles Teller. His role in this movie is definitely different than what I've seen him in recently. I mean, this guy is just a lazy, burnt out druggie who doesn't have a job, refuses to look for a job, just sits on his ass and gets high all day. It eventually reaches the point where his mother's had enough with him. She kicks him out of the house. He also soon realizes that his ex-girlfriend is pregnant with his child, but she doesn't want him involved because she just feels he's a deadbeat. And at this point, Miles Teller is like, you know what? I guess I need to get my shit together. And that's going to start with getting a job. So, you know, he goes to apply for an open position with these hot shots, and, you know, they're looking at him and they're like, yeah, maybe you can do something. All right, we'll bring you on board. And, you know, for a while, he's treated as the newbie. You know, the other firefighters, they pick on him, they target him, you know, they really try to, you know, it's like, you got to break him down. We have to remold him into, you know, a great person and a great firefighter. And what I love is with Josh Brolin, he's the one who's really ready to give Miles Teller the shot to join them because he sees a little bit in him. You know, Josh Brolin, he had his troubles growing up. He was a delinquent to a degree, and he feels like becoming a firefighter saved him. And he's thinking, you know what? Maybe the same can happen with Miles Teller. Let's bring him on board. And what I do love seeing in Miles Teller's story is this experience, it does change him. You know, he's gotten clean. He's got a solid living going for himself. He's made amends with his girlfriend. She's now allowing him to be a part of their daughter's life. But it's later on in the movie when these firefighters have become like a certified team and they can now take on the really dangerous stuff that's going on, you know, the stuff that really gets the recognition. It's at this point Miles Teller begins to see the effect this does take on family because, you know, when he starts visiting his daughter a little bit more, you know, his daughter is a little bit more hesitant towards him. You know, she doesn't really want to see him. She cries a little bit when, you know, he tries to hold her. And, you know, his mom and his, I guess I should say ex-girlfriend, because they didn't get back together, but, you know, they both tell him, it's like, you know, she's a baby, she's really little, like, she needs consistency from you if she's gonna form a relationship with you. And it's at this point, Miles Teller tells Josh Brolin, it's like, I love what you've done for me, I appreciate you basically saving my life, but I need to have a relationship with my family. I don't think I can do that if I have this job. I think I might have to leave. But then we get to the final act of this movie, and this right here is where the emotions really hit strong. There's this ridiculous wildfire that is broken out. You know, the hotshots, they have to go in, they gotta take it down, they have to stop it, or the entire city is pretty much going to die. And so Miles Teller is one of the first ones sent in to kind of like just do some monitoring with the soil, you know, kind of trying to track the fire. It's something like that. You know, they eventually realize like the fire is getting too out of control, and one of them says, all right, we have to get Miles Teller out of there. So, you know, some guy from another firefighting crew, he gets him out of there, gets him to safety, but the other firefighters, the rest of the hotshots, they're still in there. They're still trying to fight off the wildfire. And it just reaches the point they're all beginning to think, I don't think we're getting out of this. They think we fought this off as long as we can. No help's coming from us. We have to brace for it. So, you know, in an attempt to, you know, protect themselves, they all go under these little tarps that they have made in case of these situations. You know, they're all trying to reassure each other. It's like, it's gonna be okay, we're gonna be fine, we're gonna get out of this. But sadly and tragically, none of them survived. And the worst part is just seeing the reaction from those who, you know, were a part of their lives, or in the case of Miles Teller, when he finds out that he was the only survivor, he's devastated, he's destroyed, and in his mind, he's thinking, they were all so much better people than me. They should have lived. I should have died. Jennifer Connelly, she gets the call that Josh Brolin is dead. She's devastated, of course. All the other families have been informed of what happened, but they've also been informed that one person survived. And when they all do see that it's Miles Teller just immediately has to leave the room because he sees all the sadness and distraught that's on these families, knowing that their husband or their father or their brother or whoever it was, they didn't make it. But then towards the very end, we do get this really nice moment between Jennifer Connelly and Miles Teller where she tells him, it's like, I get what you're feeling. I get you feel that you deserve to die, but you're alive. You have your life to live. You have your daughter you have to look after. You have your family that you have to take care of. There's a reason you lived. Keep living your life for their sake. And then the movie wraps up with a little tribute they show during the credits of, you know, how the wildfire was like one of the most deadliest in history. It shows all the fallen firefighters and just does this nice little tribute for them. So all in all, I will say, Only the Brave was definitely a movie worth watching. The cast in this movie, they do a good job. Josh Brolin was great. Miles Teller was really good in a role that I'm not used to seeing him in. I love that this movie explored what it means to be a hotshot firefighter because it's not a profession that I think a lot of people are too familiar with. I like seeing what goes into it, how to defend against it, how it is one of the most dangerous jobs out there. I love that this movie explored on the different things, you know, how some people go into this job as a chance to redeem themselves, you know, how initially the crew may not like them, but then they grow to become brothers, the effect it takes on family members. Definitely an emotional movie for sure. I mean, come on. Who didn't tear up at the end? And in the end, although this isn't a movie that I'm probably going to watch more than once, it is a movie that did give me such an appreciation for something that I didn't know a whole lot about before, and that ain't nothing. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.